Hello, welcome to the I Am Badass podcast. This is Lani, and today I'm talking about the bullshit excuse that there's a magic fucking pill or people who are happy have it easier than you, because there is this crazy belief. I talk to a lot of women all over the place all the time, and the majority, and people, fucking everybody, look around, everybody has these limiting beliefs and these excuses of why they can't do what I've done. Or I just heard this yesterday. This chick was like, well, not everybody is like you and not everyone can do it fast. And she's been in therapy for 21 years. And I was like, okay, well, it doesn't take a long time to decide, but if you believe that you need to do therapy until you're fucking 97 years old, then like you're going to be in therapy, and nothing that she wants is manifesting. She wants a relationship, not happening. A lot of money, not happening. Her own place, not happening. So if what you're doing isn't working, but you're telling yourself that I can't do this now, it can't be fast, or there must be this easy secret way that people who have it all know, and that's just for the elite. It's so fucking mind-blowing. But before I get into it, I just want to inspire you, because since I was a little damn girl, I always wanted to get discovered. I talk about this all the time. Like, fucking look at my Instagram. It's like my own personal, I discovered myself. I made my own personal dance channel, and this is welcome to me. Like, I do this because I love it. I live for it. I have always wanted to connect people and make them laugh. And so I've just had to figure out how to get past the ego and do it for myself. But for so long, I thought like, oh, I'm past the age. I'll never get discovered. Like, it's never going to happen for me. And I have my own fucking show. This is a podcast. Yes, I've created it with my partner. Yes, like nobody gave me permission or discovered me. I made it happen. So if there's something in your life, like I hear so many things like, well, I want to start a blog. I'm like, why don't you fucking start a blog then? Jeez Louise, like get off your ass and do something about it. So if you're waiting for permission, I mean, that's a formula that's not going to work forever. But for the moment, to get some momentum, I'm giving you some permission to be awesome and badass and do something that you've always wanted to do, but you felt like you needed somebody to tell you it was okay or you can do it. So go the fuck ahead, girl, and get your damn podcast or blog or dance channel, whatever you've been craving, get that going. So the reason I'm talking about this today is because I talk to a lot of women all the time. I have a lot of different avenues where I'm sharing the truth. I do obviously have a coaching program, but I do this podcast and I'm sending the truth out just because I love sharing truth and connecting and empowering. And the most incredible thing for me is that I, in a million years, would have never imagined. I mean, this is literally less than 2 years ago. I would have never imagined if you would have been like, you're going to have your own podcast and have a super fucking successful business with the man of your dreams and be making a shit ton of money and have no more guilt around making love, no more like porn shame, no more vagina shame, no more I'm a whore shame, and you're going to be rich, like fucking make more money than you've ever made, like in the last years put together in like a couple months. Like you can travel business class, like you're an icon. People are reaching out to you going, thank you for telling me the truth. No one has ever told me the truth before. You're teaching these strategies to get women off antidepressants who've been on them their whole life. Women who have just played small and been like, oh, whatever, life isn't perfect. I'll just deal with these horrible relationships and let my standards be dog shit and get treated like dog shit and be miserable and pick my skin and manifest these such gnarly things around yoni. The really common one, I've shared before, is just like yeast infections and just shame and just totally shut off from sexual energy. If somebody would have told me that I'm teaching how to break through yoni and sexual shame and to actually teach women how to be empowered and embodied and be sharing the truth, like without any fucking regret or any shame or any guilt or any embarrassment, and have like a podcast where people actually are like, this is changing my life, I would have been like, I just gave myself goosebumps. I would have been like, no fucking way. Like, I'm not going to talk about my shit because I hadn't broken through it. But I mean, literally, I wouldn't have believed it. My mind would have been like, not going to happen. Life is hard. Life is a struggle. Like, I was waiting. The reason I know this so well, and I know when I get a woman who's totally not ready, not willing to take responsibility for her happiness, a disaster, like can't even fucking do basic, oh, I can't work because, and then insert any fucking excuse that you can come up with. Or I'm a hell yes, but the money, I'm like, bitch, please. A hell yes is a hell yes. It's not, I'm a hell yes, but money. Like, there's no separation. Like, that's why I teach you get to have it all. And if you don't have it all, you don't have anything, because I can guarantee you when somebody has a problem in one area, and if they really are ready to dig deep and go there with me, like I'm like, dude, the problem is in this one area. Like, the problem is the program that you're not worthy and you don't believe you deserve it all. Like, I can always nail that because I compartmentalized for so long, but I was waiting for this magic pill. And even when I started having coaches, like, the coaches that I had didn't have it all. Like, I was like, oh, fuck, I need the spiritual coach. And like, they would be like, oh, if you can't pay, it's fine. Like, cause I'll be like, how much is it? Cause I was in such scarcity, like, oh my God, like $150. Like, oh, I don't have the money. So they'd be like, oh, just pay when you can't. Like, they were totally in scarcity and didn't have this self-love, and they were doing their best and sharing, and we all need to start somewhere. So there's no shame in starting and reaching out. Like, I did so many different levels to finally get the strategies. I wasn't ready. I still always had an excuse of like, life is hard and I can't have it all. So until I was ready, could I really lock into that? But then I had like business coaches and like paid so much money, and they didn't have the strategies to reprogram. So it was always just like, I always would miss the mark and started paying a lot of money for coaches. And I was like, this isn't fucking working. Like, nothing's working. I'm not getting clients. Like, I feel even lower at the end of the day, because when you set your goals higher and the stakes are higher, now you've invested a shit ton of money, so the stakes are higher. You have way more to lose. So when you fail at the end of the day, when you like, I guess part of the reason why I just stayed so safe and just taught yoga for so long, it's like, you don't have that much to lose. Like, the difference was like making $10 to like on a good day, like 200. But I mean, either way it would balance out. So I didn't have that much to lose. It was like, I just paid upon how many students came. So it's not like I was out, I'm out like $500 if no one shows up. So it was really easy to play small, because the failure, like, to my ego was like, oh, whatever. I'd feel shitty and I'd be like, oh, I'm a horrible teacher if no one came. So when I started spending a shit ton and nothing was changing, I remember saying like, I just paid 20 fucking grand. Where's the goddamn magic pill? Like, I was seriously like, where is this magic pill? What the fuck is going on? And I love every part of my journey, because every part of my journey has brought me here. So there's like a beautiful reason why we have this resistance. So if I get somebody who was doing what I used to do and wanting no resistance, I don't want to get out of my comfort zone, I don't want to do anything new, I don't want to fail. Okay, so it seriously reminds me of like, have you seen Shallow Hal? And you know the part where Jack Black gets stuck in the elevator with Tony Robbins, banana hands, and he's like, describe your favorite woman, and he starts naming like fucking supermodels from the 80s to like, I want her boobs and like Britney Spears' butt, but like not buff Britney, like that 2003 Britney, but he's like, oh, I want this chick's like right arm and this chick's like toes. And he's just like, it's so unrealistic and psycho. And that's like, it's like hilarious, because that is what we do. Like, I used to live my life like, okay, so I want to take this genius's brains, and then this genius's stamina, and this genius's ability to work with money, and this genius's ability to learn and memorize. And like, I literally wanted to sit back and not train and not practice, when every genius that we know and everybody that is amazing puts in the time. Like, that's how we have to do this. It's by repetitions. If I'm going to be really clear, because I'll get so many people that are like coaching and they don't have, I'm like, what strategies are you giving to your clients? Like, so many coaches in my program now, and they're like, there's like none. It's like journal. Like, the most common strategy is you're like, journal. I was told to do that like forever. And every time it didn't work, that was a nightmare. I fucking didn't want to look at journals for like 6 months after that. But there like are no real strategies that were given. And I did so many spiritual workshops and sought out so many teachers, and it was like, here's this like 3-hour thing where you like get high and you like cry and then you walk away, and then like the next day you're just right back with yourself with no strategy. So the repetition becomes the misery, the repetition. So the strategies, like, I mean, strategy is a strategy. It doesn't matter if it's changing your life or it's making it miserable. But guess what? Living in your head and being miserable and having anxiety, like that's a coping strategy, because the anxiety isn't the problem. Right? That's not the root. That's a symptom of a program. So there are so many strategies, but when people come into me, I'm like, you haven't said one. Like, all that people say is like, oh, positive mindset. And like, oh, I'm like, that's not a strategy at all. Like, you need serious strategies to reprogram. You have years and years and years of bullshit and pain. And when you were little, what did we learn? We learned that pain and suffering was the norm. Like, I was just talking to my mom about this today. Obviously, we've got some serious programs of pain and suffering in my family. And the majority of I think actually none of my family has broken through, because it's way more comfortable to use the strategy, blame everyone else. Life is hard. I can't do it. Drugs is a strategy. That's a real common one in my family. Binge eating is a strategy. That's another real common one in my family. So those are all strategies that are making you more miserable and just totally making this negative feedback loop even stronger. So it's either your misery and your pain gets stronger every day, or your consciousness and your ability to push ego down and your joy gets stronger every day. Like, there's no staying the same. It's like, there's going to be momentum either way. So when people kind of act like, oh, this is like so much work, I was like, you're already doing the work. You're just doing the work and fucking yourself up and making yourself more miserable. There's not such thing as more work. You already are using strategy. So I word it as like, what are your coping mechanisms? Food, drugs, booze, men, Tinder, Bumble, yelling, anger, like numbing out, shutting down. And I mean, those are already strategies. It's just they're making you more miserable. So I was waiting for this magic pill, because in my mind, I thought that like, there can't be a way that like, these people that are so successful, like they obviously are more gifted than me. Like, clearly I'm not as smart as them. Clearly I'm not going to get the opportunities because I grew up poor and I didn't get discovered. I didn't hit Instagram at the right time. I told myself for so long that like, because I didn't have an iPhone when I first moved to Bali, I had like a full Indonesian, like even like a Zach Morris, like full. It wasn't even a flip, dude. There was no picture texting. It was like dee, dee, dee. You had to like press, to get to see, you had to press the number 3 times. Like, I used that phone for a while. I was just like totally Mowgli and surfing and yogaing. So, I mean, I had low standards because I couldn't buy chocolate if I wanted any. I could only eat 2 times a day. I didn't have a freaking refrigerator for the first 4 months that I lived in Bali. I didn't have a fucking refrigerator. Like, I was like, oh, I can't afford, like, I mean, my standards were low. That was comfortable. I'd always been poor. So of course I'm going to like go back to that. But I remember saying, oh, if I would have gotten an iPhone in 2012 when I moved to Bali, I'd have like 10 million followers by now, because I could have been posting all my Bali shit. Cause that was like before there was like sexy naked yoga pictures. But I use that as an excuse of like why I'm not a successful yoga teacher and why I can't do retreats. Like, I was seriously like waiting for like Zeus or the universe, like Mama Gaia, to come down and like, okay, magic, abracadabra, like, you're healed, you've got it. And there is this epidemic of, I did this in Bali for 6 years. I went to workshop after workshop, and I went to healers and do this healing on me and clear my energy. And like, I just heard this yesterday, like, oh, this woman cleared my energy and this block that I have from my childhood. And I was like, okay, so what happens the next time you get triggered by a dude? Because like, your self-worth depends on having a dude. So you got cleared, the pain went away for a day. I can fucking guarantee you the next time you get triggered and you don't get that attention from a man, or somebody hurts your feelings and you feel like you're not good enough, the pain is going to come back, because we do not work from the outside in ever. Or we would all be there, there'd be the magic pill and everybody could take it, but it's not this thing for the elite. So everybody wants to reap the rewards and the benefits of like So I put so much repetition in, I had to square myself up and do the freaking gnarliest thing that a perfectionist and somebody who literally believes that they need to be perfect and that's the only way they can get love. The gnarliest thing for a perfectionist in the old Lani is saying that I was wrong, saying that I fucked up, acknowledging and taking responsibility for getting myself in an abusive marriage because I was trying to save him and I was embarrassed and I was desperate and insecure and lonely and I wanted to be loved and I was getting old and what if no one, and admitting that I'm not perfect. Taking responsibility for my own happiness in my own life. And everybody wants to skip that step. And they want to go from eating dog shit and being super miserable to having it all like that. They want to skip the step of taking responsibility, of acknowledging that it's nobody else's problem except yours. Nobody had it easy. It's just that we put the repetitions in. I love to call it going, once we get out of the victim mindset, the victim mentality, and we step into an empowered mentality and is like, I am responsible for this. I'm a badass and I can do it. Because seriously, there is nothing a client can come to me and tell me and be like, this fucking happened, whether it's traumatic, something really traumatic that's happened or something in their heads happened or whatever. I'm not afraid. I fucking ride that bitch. I ride that ego excuse victim mind mentality like it's a goddamn bull and I am in Pamplona just fucking one-arming that shit, my white outfit, my red bandana, I am not afraid. There is no problem that's too big. There is nothing that our body cannot process. There is no I can't or this is impossible or I'm fucked and you're not going to die. I'm not afraid of that. So at the beginning, that's really confusing for people because that's always the time when they've quit, because they haven't actually had the strategies to reprogram. But you cannot just jump from, oh, I'm miserable and I don't fucking work and I don't have any money and I'm mooching off people and I'm bitching and I'm, negative and I'm anxious to yeah, fucking Victoria's Secret model, smartest person in the world, sexiest woman in the world, feminine icon, sharing truth, healing the world. I'm a world healer. I'm an icon. You don't get to just go from below baseline to having everything without any resistance, without any acknowledgement, and it's not a magic pill. And so it just blows my mind when people are like, yeah, I'm ready to have it all. I'm like, no, you're fucking not. You haven't done shit. You haven't taken one step. You haven't taken responsibility for what's going on. You always have an excuse about why you can't. And it was this and this. I've heard all the, one chick was like, it's divine timing. That's why I don't live up to my full potential. And I was like, wow. A simple me, I'm the problem would have been totally acceptable. So we can't ever just expect everybody, and I say this over and over, and I'm gonna keep saying it until we can all truly understand, because the beautiful part of life is getting stronger and growing, and that the only way we can do that is through resistance. The only way that we can do that, we have to go bigger than we did the day before in order to grow. And whether that means reading today and not reading yesterday, or running farther today than we did yesterday, or just getting up off your ass instead of going on Instagram in the morning and going for a walk instead, or doing a little meditation or prayer, or having, a tea at night instead of beers to numb or smoking to numb, there's always the most incredible, empowering thing that I can share is you always get to choose. Even when I was in my abusive marriage, I was choosing that, dude. I wasn't a victim. I'm not a victim. I'm not a broken woman, and I'm not a unicorn that did something some chick wrote on my Facebook, I give a free meditation and share how amazing the results are and teach you how to get in your body. And she was like, you obviously grew up rich. And I was like, bitch, please. Your girl grew up on welfare, on food stamps, and poor my whole life, sexually abused in abusive relationships. And the reason that I bring that up is because the natural excuse for the ego is easier for her, lucky. Or, oh, that's one in a million. She's a unicorn. or like, I don't believe it, nobody's happy. So many of my clients are like, dude, before I came into your program and got the strategies, I was like, they can't really be happy. They've got to be lying like I'm lying, you know, like we all the perfectionists lie on social media and post up this fake bullshit. It's like, you're saying that you're miserable and you're unhappy, but then you're also saying that you don't want to do anything in between your misery now and having it all, being totally confident and having the tools and the conviction to know that it's never about being perfect or saying the right thing. It's never about that, which is such a huge relief. I always thought that I had to save and do, and I need to do and it's the being. Like, I just need to be open. I just need to get out of my fucking head. And the thing is, nobody gives us strategies how to do that. Oh, think positive. Well, sure, you could fake that, but if your body is feeling fear and you're pretending to think positive, I did an episode on that last week. Take a pause and go listen to episode 38 if you're like, oh my God, I'm totally Mrs. Pretend Positive Pants. That one will suit you really well. There has to be this fire, this fucking fire, this motivation, this understanding that you cannot do the same thing every day and get something fucking epic. And you can't you can't just meditate once and get something epic. Like, this shit comes from this fire in my belly where I'm like, I am not going back to eating dog shit. I am never going back to being a scarce, bitchy, fucking judgmental, insecure, pathetic woman. I am never going to go back to comparing myself to people and hating myself and self-harming because I feel like a fucking disgusting, worthless whore. I will never go back to that. And the way that I ensure that that's going to happen is I don't fucking stop using the strategies that I know work, because I know that I need to keep growing. And I also don't make excuses for, oh, okay, well, it's okay to skip this and that today. Like, I never just showed up and was like, once I got the strategies, I used to do this all the time before. The old Lani wanted the magic pill and no resistance. I was the queen of, I want it now. I want it easy. I don't want to fucking try. I don't want anyone to reject me. I don't want to fail. I don't want to put myself out there. I don't want any negative feedback. I don't want people to not like me. Like, dude, that's not how it works. That was the old Lani. That was like, I was the queen of like fucking, I can't have anything. Like, I crumbled like a stack of cards. But now understanding, like, I know what works because I never had strategies before. It was like journal, like I said, like go to a workshop and cry a little bit and dance. Well, that didn't freaking reprogram. Guess what happened the moment I walked out of that damn workshop? My strategies that made me miserable and eat dog shit, that's the only ones I had. We're already using strategies. We're already manifesting. But to use new strategies and to take responsibility, that is the difference. So if you're waiting for a magic fucking pill, or if your excuse is, I'm ready, but, then you're not, because there's no buts. Either you are ready or you're not. There's never a but after. The but means I want to fucking suffer and eat dog shit. And you have to really like be honest with yourself and square yourself up. That's the only way. If you keep walking around with, but I can't do this because I'm totally ready to change my life, but I'm not willing to do anything about it. Like, fuck off. That is insane. That is mind blowing. And the majority of the people are living in this energy state of like, I want everything, but I don't want to fucking do anything. That is so crazy and so mind blowing. So my intention for you today is quit waiting for the magic pill. Quit trying to go from below baseline and miserable and jump to having it all without any resistance, without any growth, without any learning, without any feedback, without focusing, putting your focus actually into the woman that you're becoming. Like, there's never been a person in the entire world who started a sport and then the next day they won the gold medal at the Olympics. And it doesn't need to take long. Like I said, like, you can go to therapy until you're 97 if you want. And if you're like, this needs to be slow, I need to do 1 million workshops and like feel good for a minute and get all high and then get all low again and fucking be miserable. Like, sure, go ahead. That's a strategy that hasn't been working, but go ahead, keep doing it, right? If you want to keep using the strategies that don't work, your coping mechanisms, like that's up to you. This doesn't need to take a long time. We practice and we train every day. It is the same whether it's physical training, whether you're studying for a test, or whether you're reprogramming your subconscious. There's never been a magic pill for anything, ever. No steroids, but let's see how fucking good that works out for people. So the magic pills are gonna fuck you up and shrink your testicles. Like, no, there's no such thing as a magic pill. This is the way that we work, and it's so fun. Like, this is the funnest part of the journey. Everybody's so afraid of this failing and, oh my God, I have to admit that I'm wrong and make a change. And it's like, what are you scared of? Like, you're at rock bottom right now. You're super miserable right now and really unhappy. And you're telling me that you're scared to do things that make you feel good? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, you can't get any worse than you are now. So if what you're doing isn't working and the magic pill is never going to come and the strategies you're using are just making you more miserable, then why in the world would you reject doing things that feed your love and consciousness and compassion and sexual energy and fire? Like, how is that even? It's so mind-blowing when it's like, no, don't need a million excuses. I don't need you to freaking write a Webster's dictionary length of like why everybody's against you or why it's harder for you. It's really this real simple energy like shift with conviction. What I'm doing isn't working. I'm saying that I want it all, but I'm not willing to do anything. So quit waiting for the magic pill. Oh my God, it's so much more fun to be able to like tell my ego to shut the fuck up and be like, yeah, you've left your body. The reason you're suffering is because you're in your head. You've left your body. You've gone into fight or flight. Make a choice, girl. And it's so fun for me to come back in my body and be like, fuck yeah, I'm a warrior queen. Like, I am Wonder Woman. I'm amazing. That's so much more fun than eating dog shit forever and ever. So I can't even understand how there'd even be a choice. But don't come all up in my house telling me that you're ready when you absolutely are 0% committed and have zero motivation because you're sitting on your bum making excuses. So get off the bum, do something awesome today, like I said at the beginning, and share this episode forward because the society, this instant gratification, these freaking apps that Photoshop, like, this freaking getting famous for doing nothing. Like, they did it. It ain't gonna happen, dude. Like, you're not gonna get famous for doing nothing. You're not gonna get the man of your dreams by being an insecure person and not doing anything. You're not going to feel strong in your body and heal all the physical ailments that your freaking programs of I'm not enough have created by doing nothing. Like, it's never going to happen. I'm telling you that now. So stop using this philosophy that everything's going to change if you don't do anything and you're just waiting for this magic pill and for this perfect time and this perfect book or this perfect, partner or this perfect day. Like, that's really, you're going to be waiting until your last breath. Quit waiting. Start today. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. I love you. Please comment. I love the energy shares. I love all the sharing of this podcast. It's been amazing. My dream is to help 1 million women by the end of the year, and I need your help. So share this podcast forward. So grateful for your time and energy. Lots of love, and I will see you next week. You.